So I adore the look of a beautifully decorated planner or bullet journal. When you have the time and patience for it, the practice of creating intricate, colourful spreads can be a calming and grounding and creative release. But the long and short of planning is sometimes just to get the information down and record your thoughts and tasks as a matter of organisation. And the fear of making a mess can actually end up holding you back from just putting pen to paper. So I've got a few tips for keeping a practical, usable planner with minimal effort and a pretty cohesive look. These tips should work across any planner or journaling system you might have, and just to demonstrate that, I'll be using examples in both my bullet journal, which is the system I currently use, and in this 2017 ban.do planner as well. One of the most difficult aspects when it comes to neatness is handwriting. As pretty as calligraphy and brush lettering can be, they're not the most practical for when you're in a rush to note down an appointment or an idea you don't want to forget. Now obviously if you're happy with your handwriting then this doesn't apply, but I would suggest working on a writing style that comes easily and naturally and looks nice and tidy. And I'm not talking about learning a new style of handwriting from scratch, just adjusting what you already do, so it's not even something you have to think about. Here are some things to try to take your writing to the next level. The first and easiest adjustment you can make is just by trying a few different pens. I find that a medium thickness nib and a generous ink flow gives me the most control. Biros take too much pressure and aren't as dark as I'd like. Finer lines make my writing look scratchy. It's really all up to personal preference. Now for lettering, what about trying to write a bit smaller? That always makes my writing look neater. Or you could go bigger. Try writing in all caps or in italics or both. Another less thought about adjustment would be the angle at which you're holding the pen or angling the page in front of you. Experiment and practice, making little tweaks each time, and see which combination gives you the neatest writing yet. A huge factor in having a page look well put together and easily readable is a sense of order that is most apparent in straight lines and borders. Basically, getting things right on a plain page is difficult, and wonkiness almost always equals mess and confusion, so I'd recommend using dot grid paper where you can. It's a great option for drawing lots of different shapes, straight lines in different directions, and it has an unobtrusive design that doesn't distract the eye too much. In a lot of notebooks, the dot grid is almost invisible. If you don't have the option of dot grid paper, an easy fix is to print out a template to have behind a plain page to show through and give yourself some faint guidelines. I'll include a few free printable options in the blog post that goes with this video linked in the description below. I use 2 or 3 different writing styles to help differentiate certain parts of my writing, be it headers or key points that I want to stand out. I know that it's hard enough nailing one style of writing, but the changes between them don't have to be drastic. It could even be a difference in lettering size, boldness, or spacing. To break up your pages or show and highlight certain aspects separate from others, you'll need a few go-to elements to make particular things stand out. For example, headers or lists, or a key point you need to remember. Keep it really simple with some easy to remember shapes. For me, I find it best to stick to a variation of simple boxes and lines and occasional dots. You might also want to use a few icons to signify certain common and repeated things to save yourself from having to write it out in full, and have variations on common bullet points and checkboxes. Here's an easy quick tip that helps with the stress of messing up and takes into account the changeability of plans. Forget having to erase irrelevant entries, simply write anything uncertain on post-it notes and stick them in. Get some nicely coloured ones from Etsy to give your pages a bit of flair. Speaking of colours, I always have 1 or 2 accent colours to go to. They're an easy way to make something stand out without much effort, and a great way to break up a busy page. All you need is a highlighter or a felt pen or a coloured fine liner. If you're not so into colours, keep it grayscale or go pastel. And if you're into more bold colours, stick to ones that complement each other and use as few as possible. Remember, the less components you need with you to be able to plan, the better, so you don't want to be relying on 100 different pens. Finally, if you want to, there's nothing wrong with embellishing a page with a few basic doodles, and contrary to popular belief, you don't need to be able to draw to have a decent little decoration. The best approach for me is to pick a theme and think of a few things that could go with it. For example, plants could involve flowers, flower pots, leaves, even water drops, or how about a space theme with the sun and the moon and the stars. If you're not into drawing but still want a bit of decoration, you can try using stickers. These ones came with the ban.do planner and all go really nicely together to avoid clashing or an overly busy look. Okay, and just as a quick bonus, one tool I can't live without when it comes to neat and stress-free planning is a simple white gel pen. I know that whatever mistakes I make, I can easily cover and write over when the white ink has dried, and you'd never know. All tools are listed below if you're curious about my specific materials, and if perfection paralysis is holding you back from setting out your important info, just remember to keep it simple. The most important thing is to get it down. Thanks for watching. Bye.